ready for your weekly dose of pixie dust with Disney Coast to Coast.
Hey folks, and welcome to Disney Coast to Coast, the ultimate unofficial Disney fan podcast. I'm Jeff DePaoli.
And I'm Patrick Dugal.
And Patrick.
That's me.
You surprised me. This past weekend was the Oscars.
It was.
You didn't watch, did you?
I got snippets.
Okay, got snippets of it. It wasn't a good night for Disney.
No,
I mean, Inside Out.
comparatively.
Yeah, Inside Out won Best Animated Feature. I guess no surprise there. Good Dinosaur didn't even get a nomination.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little disappointing. But then there were a bunch of losses, like Inside Out lost Best Screenplay. Cinderella lost Best Costume, which I think it should have had a good chance at, because Mad Max won everything. But yeah, I think it should. And then Sanjay's Super Team, which was the short before Good Dinosaur lost, which is kind of surprising. Pixar seems to always win the shorts. So good for the folks. Although Sanjay was not my favorite.
Was Lava?
No, that was my biggest thing.
Yeah.
Lava wasn't nominated,
which was, to me, so much better than Sanjay.
I tweeted about this, and somebody said, and I don't understand how this worked or happened, that Lava was nominated, or was eligible to be nominated last year. I don't know how that works. I don't know why that happened.
Yeah, I don't.
It came from a very...
Because it's part of Inside Out.
Yeah. They could have released it just so that they could get it nominated. A lot of times films do that, where I don't know what the exact rule is, but it's something has to be on 12 screens in order to be eligible. So I heard they did something like that from a pretty... good source, so I'm believing her. But yeah, Lava is one of my favorite shorts of all time. So yeah, did you catch the clip of R2-D2, C-3PO, and BB-8 at the Oscars? I did. That was awesome.
Yeah,
I love that.
As well as Woody and Buzz presenting.
Yes, Woody and Buzz, who did not sound like Tom Hanks. Pretty sure it was Tom Hanks' brother doing Woody at the Oscars, but. Yeah, the R2-D2, C-3PO, BB-8 was pretty awesome because they kind of just came out to salute John Williams, who was there with his 50th nomination, I believe. 50 nominations. Crazy. And I think, oh god, I could be mixing this up. I think they said 7 wins.
Okay.
Because he was nominated last night. But that was pretty cool. So, Disney was definitely represented. Mm-hmm. It just didn't do great. And I even heard they released a new Jungle Book commercial, but to be honest, I wasn't paying attention to the commercials.
I don't know.
But
if they did stuff we've probably already seen before.
Yeah. So, congratulations, Inside Out.
Yay!
I think worthy for sure. Mm-hmm. And, it was the Oscars. It wasn't a big Disney year at the Oscars. So
yeah.
We accept what we got, and moving on. Moving on to something big, and I guess we should say, spoiler alert here.
Okay.
Because we're going to be talking about Zootopia.
Yeah!
I don't think we're necessarily going to give away plot devices, but I do want to give the warning.
Okay, segueing into this, obviously Finding Dory is not out, but I will call it right now. I will say Zootopia is going to get Best Animated Feature next year.
Zootopia was so much better than I ever expected it to be. I think
it did, because the reason why Big Hero 6 won 2 years ago was there was no Pixar film.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Pixar, and Pixar is...
Or last year, right? Big Hero 6?
Last year.
Last year, yeah.
Because there was no Pixar film, because we got 2 this past year.
Yeah.
However, now we have a Disney animated feature and a Pixar film in the same year.
And another Disney animated feature.
And another
Moana will be eligible.
But I will call that Zootopia will win Best Animated Picture for next year's Oscars.
Here's what I will say. To me, walking into a Disney animated feature, if it's a non-musical, I'd say pretty much the highest score you can get from me is 7.5 out of 10 stars if you're a non-musical. I'd give Zootopia 7.6.
That's good.
It's really good. It's really... I was going just because that's Walt Disney Animation. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is great. And there are so many reasons why it's great. And we're going to go through it in detail.
Okay.
But I just want to say, if you haven't seen it yet, which when this is coming out, it hasn't been released, so there's probably a good chance you haven't. I guess fast forward a little, although I will try not to make it super spoilery. How about... That's, okay. So, you can listen, but I just want to say it for those of you who would like to yell at us after, just in case. Okay,
cool.
We said it. Shall we start at the beginning?
Yes.
Okay, it starts with the most adorable scene ever.
The school play.
The school play. Oh my goodness. So the, what's her name? Hops.
Judy.
Judy Hops is a young bunny. And it's a really great, basically, exposition piece of them explaining why they... animals used to attack each other, but now they're dignified and they stand upright and stuff. So it was a cute little, like, retelling of history in a children's school play, which was hilarious. I thought it was a beautiful way to start it. And yeah, it was like that immediately. I was like, I'm in it. Yeah. I'm in it. Great. Fantastic. And jump in here at any point. And then one of the things that cracked me up, did you happen to catch the population sign?
Of when the bunnies? Yeah.
Okay, so when Judy...
There's so many just little things you can catch in this movie.
So many little things. Definitely some laugh out loud scream moments for me. Yeah, so I guess I fast forwarded a bunch there. She's trained...
It's basically exposition.
Yeah.
She trains to be a cop. Yeah. Obviously, bunnies are never cops.
Because they're little.
They're carrot farmers. But she ends up leaving her hometown.
Her mom is Bonnie Hunt.
Yeah.
Yay.
Which, it's really funny because the character's name is Bonnie Hops.
Yeah. So, well, her and John Lasseter are really good friends, so I'm sure that had something to do with it. And this is totally way too much information, but her husband in the show is voiced by Don, forgetting his last name, but he was the producer and a good friend of Bonnie's of the Bonnie Hunt show. So, and it was funny because I was listening and I recognized his voice, and I said to my friend, I'm like, who's that? Whose voice is that? He's like, I don't know, but that's Bonnie Hunt playing the mom. I'm like, oh, that's Bonnie. And the minute he said it was Bonnie, I was like, oh, that's Dawn for sure. So that was fun. But anyway, so she's on the train, leaving for Zootopia. And there's the Bunny Town population side, and it's just like spinning really fast, going higher and higher and higher. Because we all know that they, bunnies enjoy populating. Yeah. So it's a good way of putting it. So that was a laugh out loud moment for me. You know my favorite part of the movie, don't you?
The minute they mention Emmett Otter.
Okay. Yeah, like literally at this moment, screamed in the theater. I went with a good friend of mine who worked on the movie, and I said, seriously, how hard was that for you to keep that a secret from me? He's like, it was about a year and a half of me being like, should I tell him? Shouldn't I tell him? No, let him be surprised. Oh, no, I should tell him. If you don't know already, I am obsessed with a Jim Henson Christmas special called Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, based on the children's book. Obsessed to a crazy level. I love it. There's an otter in the movie.
Which, this is in the trailer. There's a missing mammal case, and one of them happens to be this otter.
And the otter's name is Emmett Otterton. And I lost my mind. I literally screamed, and people were like, what? It's such a random reference.
Yeah,
it's like, I was like, who was that? Whose idea was that? I'm assuming it was one of the directors who also have an affinity for this fantastic Christmas special. I'm telling you, if you're a Jim Henson fan, check out Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. I don't care what time of year it is. It's so beautifully done. But in any case, I digress. I was so happy. And then, here's the best part. There's going to be an Emmett Otterton stuffed animal, I'm hearing.
Yeah, probably.
So I'm going to get one. Yay. Happy.
Good for you. I'm happy for you.
Thank you. Okay, now that I'm like over that, I'm not really over it, but
we'll get it.
We'll have to move on. So, what were some of like your favorite highlights of the movie? What made you love it so much?
I think the story in general. Obviously, the biggest thing about this movie is there's a message to it. There's a
great message that I was not expecting.
Yeah, it's a very relevant message in today's society too. But it's not pushy at all.
I would disagree with that a little bit. I was not offended by it at all because I'm like, message should be heard. But I was like, I did think to myself, there's going to be some of the population that's going to be like, this is really preachy.
I didn't feel like it was preachy. I felt like it laid it out, but I didn't feel like it was preachy.
Yeah, I loved the message. But yeah, so that was great.
No, but I like you said, there's a lot of the highlights are these. It's a very smart movie. There's some jokes that are going to go over kids' heads, obviously. But then there's some great pop culture references in there.
Which will date it, so that's a little I'm not crazy about that.
But I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, that's the thing I kept saying, and if you watch the old episodes of DCTC, you'll remember me saying, God, I hope the only funny scene isn't that sloth scene, which is fantastic. That is not the only funny scene. There's so many funny scenes. Well, there's the bunny thing that we just talked about. Mm-hmm. The animal nudist colony. Oh my God, I was cracking.
I wasn't laughing too much. It was funny, but it was just like, yeah.
I loved it. So most of the animals are wearing clothes, and they're on a case, so they track down somewhere, and it's a nudist colony. It's just funny seeing these animals around naked, and they're just like, they're naked, which is obviously what we're used to.
To me, the funniest was the I think they're called minx foxes, which is Nick's henchman.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Which is
he's so
great.
Cute. Yeah,
great voice acting too.
Yeah, that was
it's a surprise scene.
Fun character for sure. Let's see, the rodents, Tiny Town. What do they call it? Like Rodentia or something.
Yeah,
it was so cute, and because Zootopia is broken up into different habitats.
Yeah, so the world building in this movie is just insane, and you see a lot of it. When Judy is heading straight into Zootopia.
That was genius. They had like a bird's eye view, and you see it like broken into 3 different areas. There's like the tundra and the desert and the rainforest and actually other areas as well. But it was great. That was a very smart thing to do. They introduced that concept early on. But yeah, there's a little town for rodents that like basically is walled off, but Judy and another character get in there, and it kind of like becomes a Godzilla movie
the
for
weasel.
a moment. Yeah, the weasel gets in there.
Which, another reference, the weasel's name was the Duke of Weaselton, which is reference to Frozen.
Oh, okay, yeah. There's well, speaking of references to other movies, there's a point in the movie where they go up to
the weasel.
Oh, was it the weasel?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it was the same guy.
And he's selling bootleg DVDs, and they're literally just bootleg references to Disney movies.
Yes, there was a Moana, there was a...
It was Meowna.
Yeah,
like a cat.
Okay.
It was Wreck-It Rhino.
Okay, good memory.
Pig Hero 6.
Wow, really good memory. There was a Tangled one, a Gigantic one, and a Frozen 2 one. So...
I don't remember the other.
Good memory, though.
Yeah. I laughed through a lot.
Yeah, well, it was like you see them all, and it was pretty quick.
Yeah, it was really quick.
Said, but you're like, it was funny, and I thought it was cool that they like. Usually they don't reference the newer movies. I don't think stuff that hasn't come out yet. So that was kind of cool. So yeah, that was so good.
Well, they even say that like this one hasn't even come out yet.
So funny. If you're a Breaking Bad fan, there's a great reference in there, and it was really funny because there's a scene that I don't think this really spoils anything, but there's a scene that like upon initially seeing it, I immediately thought Breaking Bad because it looks like a meth lab. They're obviously not cooking meth. But
it's a blue substance.
Yeah, it's a blue substance, and he's got like the yellow hazmat suit on, and it looks very Breaking Bad like. And so like that was funny enough, but I was not enough to laugh out loud. But then at one point he goes, "Oh, Walter and Jesse's here," and I was just like, "That is fantastic." I loved it. Although I do think I'm the only one in the theater that got that.
Really?
Yeah, I was with a lot of kids.
Okay.
Yeah, must not have had Breaking Bad fans in that audience, but made me laugh quite a bit. And did you notice their iPhones? Did you?
I noticed they had them.
Okay, all their iPhones, I loved it. Instead of like the little apple on the back, had like a carrot on the bunny's iPhones. And they're all different. Oh, it was so funny. Just great little details in it.
So many details.
I joke about the street in Hollywood, or I guess it's Burbank and Hollywood, called Tahunga.
Yes. And they're like it's pronounced.
I think Judy calls it Tajunga.
And he's like, it's pronounced Tahunga.
It's Tahunga. And the funny thing here is, so Walt Disney Animation, which is actually located on Alameda?
Yes.
Yeah, Alameda. It's currently moved over to Tahunga. because of they're doing renovations. So like it was totally an inside joke. So.
Yeah. But we got it.
So funny. Yeah, it was definitely like a local joke. Most other people were like, what is this? I don't get it. But yeah, I just loved it. There's one thing that bothered me, and I feel really, really, really bad that this bothered me. There's a leopard, I think it is, that plays like the secretary, the front desk of the police station.
Shoe Cluster or something? I don't know.
I have no idea. But
Cluster something.
So this character's great, and I'm listening to this character, and I'm like, I know this voice, and even though I knew it wasn't this person, it sounded a lot to me like Josh Gad. Did you ever think that? I was like,
I didn't have.
Okay, I had this flash of like Olaf, Josh Gad, and I was like, oh man, but I knew it wasn't Josh Gad because it didn't sound exactly like him. And I'm like, but I know that voice, and then come to find out it was Nathan Torrance, who's an actor that I really love and actually have met, and he's a lovely guy. But I was like, oh, I was so upset that like, I don't know, it was confusing to me. Maybe I'm the only one, maybe nobody else will think this. I hope you don't, but it was a little disruptive for me. And I was like, oh, it's too Olaf-y. I'm sick of Olaf stuff. Like,
great character though.
Yeah, great movie, great. Here's the thing, great story, great character,
and especially character development. I feel like this is the biggest one where we actually started from the beginning and like the characters actually developed throughout the story. And funny enough, I also read it's a lot of people are concerned because it's actually one of the longest Disney movies.
Is it?
The runtime is 108 minutes.
Did not feel it. Although I will say, at one point I thought it was the end.
Well, yeah, there's
a whole other good chunk.
Definitely like a full 3-part story, which is great.
So it was a great movie. I think that's everything. Emmett Otterton, still not over it.
Non-spoilish, but there's a twist to it. Did you see it coming?
No.
Really?
No, I didn't really. Because, there's a couple twists. And the earlier twists, yes. The final twist, I didn't really expect. No. Cool. But it was a nice surprise. It was, listen, this isn't a good animated movie. This is a good movie. It's a really good movie. And it's not even a musical. So, bravo.
Saying something.
Yeah, like, Walt Disney Animation, thumbs up. Because, I don't know. It is interesting, though, how these non-musicals seem to not survive in the theme parks and stuff unless it's Pixar. Like,
yes.
They'll come in real quickly and then go. Like, Big Hero 6, come and gone. So, that's interesting.
Which it still confuses me.
It doesn't to me, and I'll tell you why. It's because...
But I'll tell you this, because, random story, I went to AP Days, and this past week was Tomorrowland week, and Baymax was the meet and greet character.
Line.
4-hour wait.
Yeah, well, he's kind of one of those... It
was Baymax and Hero. 4-hour wait, and they actually started giving people tickets to come back, and, halfway through the day, they're like, no, the line's full for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I mean, it's because he's rare, I think. But yeah, I agree with you. In a lot of cases, I am like, why is this character not more... if it's not a musical...
And maybe that's just Disneyland, because he is an everyday character at Epcot.
Yeah. I think that a lot of it, though, is music is universal. I think no matter what language you speak, if you hear a melody of a tune, it's just a universal thing. And so I just think musicals live longer in the animated form than a non-musical.
What did you think of Shakira's song? Because
I hated it.
Actually, the song is played fully twice in the whole movie.
Here's the thing. I couldn't tell you anything about it. I couldn't tell you a lyric about it. I couldn't tell you, hum a melody. Completely forgettable, completely unnecessary.
I liked it.
Okay, great. That's the song they'll play. If they make a pre-parade float, that's the song we'll hear.
Well, it's better than the Inside Out one.
Oh, yeah, that was... Well, I love the Inside Out score, but...
It was just
it's not great. It's not a parade. No. That's an invisible ball in his hand.
That's all it was.
Anything else to add about Zootopia for you?
No, I'd say it's definitely a must-see.
Definitely a must-see. Do you think it'll break any records? Or do you think it'll do, extraordinarily well?
I think it will be a surprise.
I think it's going to be a word of mouth one.
Yeah, I think it will definitely grow.
Yeah.
From word of mouth.
So congratulations to Walt Disney Animation.
Another great movie.
Yeah. And in the parks, if you're a Disney California Adventure and you want a little Zootopia food in your life,
yeah,
you can get some. The
fried bananas.
Banana corn dogs. Okay, this sounds miserable to me.
Really?
Well, as a person who doesn't like fruit and especially bananas, this sounds terrifying.
I really like bananas, and I want to try them. I was there, but then I just didn't.
It's a corn and honey batter banana, deep fried, with powdered sugar, chocolate, and raspberry sauce. You can get this from February 22nd, so already, to March 18th, so not very long.
Yeah. I think I'll try it.
Try it. You can let me know how to banana anything, not going near it.
No, I like bananas.
Oh, I'm glad you like bananas.
Thanks.
So that's our review of Zootopia. Go see it.
Do it.
So something we need to talk about that we did.
Oh, but fun fact.
Sorry, fun fact. Let's hear it.
You went to a different.
Oh, did you get pics with them? The characters?
No, they didn't come out. But I did answer a trivia question, and I won a prize.
What'd you win?
It was really funny because when I won it, I was just like, okay.
I hope it's not my trivia question.
No, it was who voices Nick Wilde, and I was Jason Bateman.
Oh, Jason Bateman. Hello.
Yeah. But I won this paw print ice cube tray.
Very awesome!
But I was like, oh, cool. Like, this is before the movie.
Oh.
And then after I watched the movie, I looked at my bag again, and I go, oh, a paw print ice cube.
That's very cool.
When you see the movie, you'll get it. So I'm gonna make my own popsicles.
Yeah, can you make some for a future episode? We'll lick them during the show.
Just eat popsicles.
I'm serious. Can we do that?
Okay.
We're doing it.
We're gonna make popsicles.
Here's the thing. We said it, and if we don't do it, we're gonna get emails. So we have to do it now.
I was gonna sit here and eat popsicles.
Yeah, we're gonna eat popsicles. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Not a ton of merch in the stores yet, though, because I went looking for Emmett Otterton. I went to Disneyland after the movie, and I went.
Yeah, I went through World of Disney right after, and not anything.
They had Nick and Judy at. I think it was the Emporium. I saw Nick and Judy, and that was it.
I did see which now makes sense too after watching the movie, a carrot recorder pen.
Yes, the carrot recorder pen.
And I was like, why does this pen have a recorder?
Because it's the new Talk Boy.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah. It's great. Go see Zootopia. Okay. We've ended our conversation of Zootopia like 3 times.
I don't want to.
I know, it's so good. Emmett Otterton. And go watch Emmett Otter's Junk Man's Christmas.
I'm going to watch it again.
Emmett?
Well, no, Zootopia.
Oh, okay. You don't like Emmett Otter.
I'll watch it like Christmas.
Okay.
I'm not in the mood right now.
Okay. Anyway, moving on from Zootopia, we need to talk about something that we mentioned last week, but we didn't go too into depth on.
Okay.
And it's the new images that have been released for Star Wars Land.
Yes.
Now, you've seen them, I assume?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, we saw fun fact. Here we go.
Last week's episode, what we talked about the Disneyland
60th
special.
Yeah.
And you were like, you're not going to watch it. Guess what?
Did you watch it?
I watched it.
How did you like it?
I loved it.
Okay, good.
It's fun.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, then you'll know that in that special they showed very small clips of some Star Wars Land simulation type things of the ride.
And to me, personally...
Let's hear it.
Which will be weird if it was, because technically they didn't invent this technology. It's kind of in other theme parks, but it looks very similar to Spider-Man and Transformers. And
you're speaking of not the Millennium Falcon ride. The
one where it literally looks like you're moving from screen to...
Yes. So the Stormtroopers Resistance Battle ride looks very Spider-Man... Transformers, as you said,
which is a patented ride system from Universal, so I don't know how it's work.
And it's one of the best ride systems ever. Truly.
Next to Harry Potter.
Yeah, I would agree.
And Forbidden Journey.
Yeah, and I would say there's Harry Potter, Forbidden Journey, and then below that is Spider-Man Transformers, as next to Indiana Jones
Dinosaur. Yeah.
So we're on the same page. So, people are going to get so many emails, though, because we just put a Universal ride as the best ride system.
It is.
Sorry, folks. It is. I was going to go on a whole Harry Potter tangent there, but I'll hold myself off.
Even
Star Wars
Diagon's ride system is great. But anyway.
Yeah, it's not that original, though. But So the Stormtroopers Resistance thing looks like that, and this is and the Millennium Falcon one, from what I can tell, looks very Star Tours-y.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, like, no, that can't happen. Like, listen, we have to be wrong, right? They have to be holding information from us because it cannot be similar to anything. It needs to be a unique. It needs to be what Forbidden Journey was the first time we did it. It needs to blow our minds. So this concerns me.
It seems to be. I mean, even Universal itself is going on the same. All the theme parks are going on the same path. That screens are cheap.
But I think, first of all, they're not that cheap. They're cheaper in the initial state. They're very expensive to keep up.
That's true.
If you replace the light bulbs as often as you're supposed to, fix them, which they don't, it's true. But they're not cheap in the long run. And I do think, in fact, I took a survey at Universal recently where they specifically asked a question, do you think we have too many screen rides in the park?
Yeah.
And I was like, yes. And then another question was, do you think we have too many 3D rides in the park? Yes. And so I think they're aware that the public is getting annoyed by this. The saving grace is, if you look at the show buildings for Star Wars Land, they're massive. So even if there are screens, it will be like Harry Potter, where you go in and out of sets and screens, which I'm totally cool with.
Yes, if it's like that, where it's like where it is half set, half screen, I'll be content with it.
Yeah, I think that can be done beautifully, especially if it's a seamless transition.
Even the Avatar show building is huge, and we all know that's probably just going to be like Soarin'.
No, don't. I just keep saying there has to be a twist. There has to be. Like, they know that there has to be a twist. They're going to surprise us. I'm holding faith that they're going to surprise us. So yes,
but yeah.
The thing I will say is the renderings that we saw of like the areas, like, so there's Resistance Base, there's a Bazaar area. The Bazaar area I think looks lovely.
Mm-hmm.
The First Order Base, we've seen inside the cantina and all that stuff. Now, what I'm loving,
the Dinner Club,
all of that. What I'm loving is the exterior stuff, like Diagon Alley, is a lot of tall buildings, which means is going to be here's the golden word, fully immersive. Yes, and it's going to be separate from everything else in the park. This is fantastic news. The thing that also surprised me was, so we keep saying Star Wars Land, but like they show a lot of different geographies in these renderings. So like I feel like there's going to be several lands within this land, which is kind of cool.
Massive, yeah.
Yeah, it's got 14 acres. So so that's great. So like in that respect, I think that it's going to be wonderful. I think one of the things, sorry to mention Universal so much, folks, but Diagon Alley, I think one of the favorite parts is, please remind me the name?
Gringotts?
The really dark area.
Oh, Nocturne Alley.
Nocturne Alley. People love that. And that's like a completely different area of Diagon Alley. So I think that we're kind of going to get some of that going on.
Like, playing Universal. But unlike Hogsmeade, Diagon Alley is fully immersive.
Oh, yeah.
Once you step in Diagon Alley, you can't see outside.
Yeah, and what I'm seeing of Star Wars, it's going to be that. And thumbs up, I applaud that. And I'm excited for the different areas. Yeah. It's going to be great. But the rides, guys, come on. I'm scared about the rides. But I will say, good for them for putting 2 rides in there, because I do feel like the trend these days is to open a land, have one really big ride, and then maybe a couple smaller things. Mm-hmm. I do feel like that is a trend, so good for them for 2 major attractions. There's also going to be, it looks like a giant Millennium Falcon, which we know the ride is the Millennium Falcon, but it actually looks like there's going to be a Millennium Falcon like there in the land, which is awesome. This is going to be crazy. So 2018 can't come soon enough. At least that's what we're hoping. We're hearing the end of 2018, but we'll see. But yeah, any other thoughts on Star Wars Land before we move on?
Don't take away map.
Those are your closing words. Don't take away map.
Yeah.
I love it. So something that's a little sooner in the horizon, not 2018, is Luigi's Rollickin' Roadsters, opening at Disney's California Adventure Cars Land, March 7th, with AP previews before that. And I have to say, have you seen the latest video? I think it's the latest video.
Yes.
This looks a lot better than I was expecting.
Really?
Yeah. I was expecting basically the flying tires in cars. Like, but the cool thing about this is like, first of all, every car has its own personality, which is great. Every car moves slightly differently. There's no track system.
No, it's GPS.
Yeah, and like it's kind of like line dancing in cars.
There's 18 different variations of dancing, pretty much.
Yeah.
That these cars are going to interweave between each other, and it's going to be to music and.
I was not expecting that. I was really expecting something much lamer. In fact, I think I might. And from what I've seen, I got to experience it still, but it looks like it's going to be better than the Mater ride.
Probably,
which is enjoyable. But I'm much more excited for this ride now that I've seen the latest video than I was initially. There are even sections where, like, so imagine all these cars line dancing in circles and whatever. And I think there's 5 different songs as well.
Yeah.
But like at certain points, like at a wedding you'd be at or something, like everybody will dance a circle and somebody gets in the center. Like one of the cars will go in the center, and you have no control over the cars. They're just doing what they're doing. But it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a lot of fun. You think you can like ask, hey, can I go in the center? And they'll tell you, or they'll.
It's like the Rebel Spy.
Yeah, it's like the Rebel Spy thing. Oh man, yeah, it's fun. 5 songs, 18 different paths. Yeah, it's crazy. It's gonna be fun.
Yay!
Yeah.
Especially in the rain.
That will be rough in the rain. Will it run in the rain? Probably not.
Does cars' radio strings run in the rain?
Probably not.
Yeah,
I don't know. I assume if it's outdoors, it's not going to run in the rain, but I could be completely wrong.
From my past theme park expertise, outdoor rides run in rain, not lightning.
Okay, no lightning. All right, good to know. Good to know. I'll have to pay attention next time it's raining. But it rains here so infrequently that, although we got some El Nino coming, so I should really shut my mouth about that. But yeah, so excited about that. Excited about Star Wars Land. Thrilled about Zootopia. It's been a pretty good Disney week, I would have to say. Woo! Yes! Except what?
There's some closures.
Well, there's always closures. Let's hear it.
More entertainment news.
I know. Mostly Florida, right?
Yeah, over at Hollywood Studios, they are cutting down the Citizens of Hollywood by 1/3.
That's a considerable amount because it's like a group of 20-ish, 20 something.
Yeah.
I think they said 9 or 10 people are being cut, so I guess that would make it like 30 people were there. Yeah. Here's what's surprising.
It seems.
It's like the dumbest thing just got.
Hollywood Studios is just. I don't even know what it is anymore.
Well, it doesn't know what it is. It's in transition.
It's just a thing.
Yeah. And listen, they keep. The writing's on the wall. They keep pulling away the Hollywood stuff, right? This is just another case of them pulling away the Hollywood stuff.
I mean, we have Toy Story Land and Star Wars going in there. So it's going to be a movie soon.
Yeah. The Citizens of Hollywood thing, here's my thing. I feel like these parks are beautiful, right? We love the parks. But to me, it's just like in a haunted house. When you're going through a haunted house, the house can look scary and everything, but it's those actors that bring it to life. To me, it's the actors, whether or not you interact with them or not, it's seeing them there that brings the park to life. And the Citizens of Hollywood is just an example of that. So it's a bummer.
It's the same over here on Buena Vista Street. I mean,
absolutely.
With the messenger going on the bike and the people with the dog and
what was the dog thing?
The dog.
Oh, okay.
And then the trolley.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like they're killing the atmosphere by getting rid of live actors. I guess, you know what, folks? If you take a survey at the parks, let them know you want interaction with characters, because it's a bummer that's what they cut. I think that's the wrong choice, personally, in most cases. So, thanks for bringing us down, man.
Always here to bring you down.
Well, before we go, I gotta mention a couple of thank yous to John Mander. Thanks for writing in. And for SG1DHD, thank you for the fabulous 5-star review on iTunes. Once again, that's SG1DHD and John Mander. If you want a shout out on the show, just leave us a nice 5-star review on iTunes. You will get a shout out.
Simple.
That's a promise. Very simple. And so I think that's it. And I think that means it's trivia time. Do you want to hit me?
No.
You want me to hit you?
Yeah.
You probably know this, but I think maybe the audience doesn't, and they might enjoy this. Who voiced Priscilla in Zootopia? Priscilla is the sloth at the DMV, the female sloth that he speaks to.
That would be Miss Kristen Bell.
That would be correct, also known as Anna from Frozen. Kristen Bell came back to do, it's a small part.
Yeah.
It's that very funny scene that they keep showing over and over and over again of the very slow sloths at the DMV. And,
which is a very perfect role for her because she has meltdowns over sloths. Which is specifically why she got that role.
Wait a sec, what?
Where have you been?
Obviously not following her on social media.
No, this is like the hugest viral video. Have you not seen where she went on Ellen and Ellen brought out a sloth?
Oh, did she like melt like she loves them, or she freaked out?
No, she like has an.
By the way, think about that question.
No, but this is not even like this. It happens a lot. Like, it's just a known fact that Kristen Bell has sloth senses, and she can sense sloths. And when one of them is close to her, she just cries.
Weird.
Yeah, so
was that my trivia? That is the weirdest thing ever.
Kristen Bell loves sloths. That's why she specifically got that role.
Oh, that's great. I thought it was just because she was friends with the Disney folks at this point.
Well, that too.
Who did Idina Menzel voice in that movie?
In Zootopia?
Yeah. A rodent. No, I just made that up.
She's not in it.
I made all that up. She's not in it, indeed. What's my trivia question?
Your trivia also has to do with Zootopia. And we actually talked about this person too.
Okay, Jason Bateman.
No, Bonnie Hunt.
I love Bonnie Hunt!
Who voiced Bonnie Hops, has also voiced 6 other Disney Pixar films.
She's in Cars. I couldn't tell you her name, but she's one of the female cars.
She's in Cars and Cars 2.
Yeah, what's the name of the car?
I can't.
Is she purple?
I don't know.
Oh,
yeah,
she was okay. Oh, you're just asking which movie she's in. She's in Toy Story 2 and 3, or is it just 3?
Just 3.
Okay, she plays Bonnie, I believe.
Yes.
They always name her Bonnie. She's in other Pixar movies. Let me think. Oh God. Did she do like a small part in Up?
Nope.
I don't think she's in Incredibles. Nemo. She's probably in Finding Nemo.
Nope.
No? Oh, jeez. I know. The only 2 I know are Cars and Toy Story 3.
There's another with a sequel.
There's another with a sequel.
And she was in both of them.
Oh my God. Now you're testing me. What Pixar movies had sequels?
Prequel.
Prequel. Oh, Monsters, Inc. I didn't know she was in Monsters, Inc. and Monsters University.
And then there's one more, her very first Pixar film.
Oh, Bugs Life.
Do you know what she was in Bugs Life?
Well, she was not the ladybug. No, she was. I've seen Bugs Life once, and it was forever ago. I
couldn't tell you the name.
I need to see it again. Is she a spider?
Yeah, she was the spider. She was the Buck Widow.
Was her name Bonnie? Bonnie the spider?
It was like someone with an S. Spindella.
Cool.
I don't know.
Good trivia.
Yay!
I love Bonnie Hunt. Yay! Everybody, thanks for joining us this week. As always, between episodes, you should be connecting with us on places like
Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, SoundCloud, iTunes, our blog posts on Tumblr.
Yay! And of course, you can find all of that at DisneyCoastToCoast.com. Thanks for joining us this week. We will see you next time.
Bye!
Thanks for listening to Disney Coast to Coast. Have a magical day.
The return of the wonderful world of Disney, which I don't think is a regular thing anymore.
No.
I can't even remember the last time ABC showed a wonderful world of Disney, so that's exciting enough. But this one was all about Disneyland 60. As we've mentioned, a bit late, as it was last July.
Yeah.
But still cool. You didn't watch it.
Yeah. So...